Hey, in this video I'll be sharing why most budgets aren't designed to help you travel. They're primarily designed to help you cut back, and without you noticing that, quietly pushes travel into the maybe someday category. Today we're breaking down why restrictive budgets quietly kill travel goals, and how you can use a simple, intentional approach that will make saving for travel realistic and doable. Hey, I'm Kamala. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel, I share how I use money and points to travel more, enjoy life now, and still save for the future. Now let's get into the video. Most budgets are built around the idea of cutting back. Which, don't get me wrong, being mindful about your spending is a good thing. But when you're always cutting back, the first things to go aren't built. It's all the fun stuff, such as travel, experiences, and really all the things that make life exciting. So travel turns into this maybe someday thing. And honestly, when something lives in someday long enough, it usually just doesn't happen. Not because you don't want it, but because life happens. And usually if something isn't planned for, it just doesn't end up happening. That's exactly what happened to me. I'd be really good with my budget for a few months. Then I'd think about booking a trip, and instantly guilt would show up. Start thinking, is this a really good idea? Can I afford this trip right now? And so I would put the desire to travel on the back burner. A majority of the time, that trip just wouldn't end up happening. That's when I realized something important. If your budget makes you feel bad for living your life, you're not going to stick with it. Eventually, people either stop traveling or stop budgeting. Neither outcome is what we really want. The one thing my budget was good at was control, but it wasn't helping me build the life I wanted. There was no real plans for future trips or flexibility, no room to say yes to the things that mattered to me. That's when I stopped thinking of budgets as something that just controls spending and started thinking of budgets as something that should support my priorities. So there were 3 simple changes I made in my budget that made a huge difference in how I save and invest my money. And the first and biggest shift for me was this. I stopped hoping that I would have money for travel. Instead, I started planning for it on purpose. I created a travel fund that gets funded every paycheck, right alongside my emergency savings and investments. I sent money to my travel fund automatically every paycheck, even if it was a small amount. If you're wondering how to start, pick a number you can commit to consistently. It could be $25, $50, whatever feels realistic, and treat it like a bill you pay for your future trips. Once that money is already set aside, travel stops feeling impulsive and starts feeling planned. The second change was related to how I think about spending. I stopped treating every dollar the same. Some spending genuinely adds value to my life. Other types of spending I don't really care that much about. So instead of tracking every dollar, I intentionally protect the categories that matter to me. For example, travel and experiences, I'll intentionally set money aside for those. Everything else falls into a flexible miscellaneous category. Things like clothes or makeup aren't big priorities for me, so I don't micromanage them. The funds for those things comes out of a miscellaneous account as needed. This approach creates space in my budget for things I actually value, so I can spend intentionally without feeling deprived or restricted. And then the third thing I do is make sure my future is still taken care of. I still save, I still invest. Those things aren't optional for me. So when I build my budget, make sure my savings and investment happen first. And once that's covered, I can plan for travel without guilt. These 3 simple changes made a huge difference for me. I didn't just budget harder, I started budgeting with intention. I made space for the life I want now, while still taking care of my future self. Because a budget shouldn't punish you for living your life. It should support you in the life you're trying to build. In my next video, I'm going to show you exactly how I budget, how I allocate my sinking funds, my essential spending funds, my savings and investments, and how I decide what are the amounts that go into each bucket, and how I track all of this with ease each paycheck. So if you want to see what my process looks like, please give me a follow so you don't miss the next video. Thanks so much for watching.